The Department of Injustice, DOJ, and FBI are protecting pedophiles by not releasing the full Epstein files that is in possession of the FBI and the DOJ, in full violation of the law. What can you do about it? Yes, you can do something great about it. If you just hang on, I'll show you how. First, let's talk about the problem a little bit that exists right now. Here's a quick recap by this news reporter on this issue of what happened.
Epstein files released. Now, I had a little hesitancy on that word because it's only part. The DOJ releasing a mass dump of the heavily redacted documents tonight. And I want to just emphasize that point. By heavily redacted, I mean a lot of pages that look like this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And that's all I was going to do to the printer to make the point. Okay, there's a lot more of them. We have teams across CNN going through what was released right now in terms of pages that are not quite as black as these. But the DOJ is admitting in a letter to Congress that the files are not complete. Separate.
Yep. They're admitting that they violated the law so brazenly. The whole pages are blacked out, and they release only a small portion of the huge amount that actually is out there. Okay. Now let's look at the law. Okay. The law actually is here. November 19, 2025. Epstein Files Transparency Act. And the law is very clear. There's no misunderstanding. Here it is. Says that not later than 30 days from after the date of this enactment, right? That was, the 19th of December, a few days ago. The Attorney General shall make publicly available all unclassified records, documents, communications, okay? Everything related to Jeffrey Epstein, right? And his assistant, Ghislaine Maxwell, flight logs or travel records, anything related about other individuals, okay? Entities related to Epstein, internal DOJ communications, including emails and memos, all communications, memoranda, directives, and logs. There's so much they ask completely to provide, okay? Any documentation about Epstein's suspicious death and detention, right? Did he really commit suicide? Let's see all the records. And that no records shall be withheld, delayed, or redacted on the basis of embarrassment of reputational harm or political sensitivity, including to any government official, public figure, or foreign dignitary. That's pretty clear, right? You can't argue with that stuff. And any redactions or blacking out must be accompanied by a written justification published in the Federal Register. That's a public record of all the regulations for everybody to see and submit to Congress for the public to see it all, okay? And if there's a national security United States issue, because they always hide behind national security of the American people. We don't want American people to die. Poor things. We got to protect the American people. It's national security of all the American people at stake. So they always throw that in there as an excuse to, we can't release it. And the courts cannot judge that what's national security, what's not, because that's a political issue, not the justiciable issue. So if they were to do that, the law says that the Attorney General must release unclassified summary for each of the redacted or blacked out or withheld classified information. See, I thought about that issue. They said, you got to do that. Well, guess what? They did none of that. Brazenly violating the law that was passed by U.S. Senate unanimously and the House of Representatives passed it unanimously except one vote against it. That is pretty strong representation of the will of the American people and the rule of law. But that is how out of control the federal government is. They just flat out give you a middle finger and say, what are you going to do about that? Huh? Go ahead. Make me. You can't, because I am the law. I am the prosecutors that put people in jail. Who's going to prosecute the prosecutor? Myself. Nobody can do that. That is a huge problem because we have a completely out of control government out there now, the federal government. Let's hear now from a co-sponsor of this bill, Roy O'Connor. Thomas Massie was a Republican that led this, and this guy, Roy O'Connor, was a Democrat who led this effort. Let's see what he says about this.
Dump this afternoon does not comply with Thomas Massie and my Epstein Transparency Act. They released one document from a New York grand jury of 119 pages, totally blacked out. This despite a federal judge ordering them to release that document. And our law requires them to explain redactions. There's not a single explanation for why that entire document was redacted. We have not seen the draft indictment that implicates other rich and powerful men who were on Epstein's rape island, who either watched the abuse of young girls or participated in the abuse of young girls and the sex trafficking. The reality is Pam Bondi has obfuscated for months. She first said there were no more documents to be seen. Now she's admitting and releasing hundreds of thousands of documents, but it is an incomplete release with too many redactions. Thomas Massie and I are exploring all options. It can be the impeachment of people at justice, inherent contempt, or referring for prosecution those who are obstructing justice. We will work with the survivors to demand the full release of these files, to demand justice for the Epstein class and accountability.
Okay. Well, that is something that they are looking to do, okay, politicians. But there is something you can do, my friends. I will show that to you, okay? That's the exciting part. But before we go on, let's talk a little bit more about why perhaps they might be hiding this information, okay? You see, this is article all over the internet. I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone, okay? Many places have been talking about this. This guy's Acosta. He was a U.S. attorney in Florida who was supposed to prosecute, okay, back in 2007, Epstein, okay? And he, well, here's what it says. Epstein's name, I was told, had been raised by the Trump transition team when Alexander Acosta, the former U.S. attorney in Miami, who infamously cut Epstein a non-prosecution plea deal back in 2007, was being interviewed for the job of labor secretary, okay? So the plea deal put a hard stop to a separate federal investigation of alleged sex crimes with minors and trafficking. And further, it continues, okay? Then Acosta, what he did, he cut the non-prosecution deal with one of Epstein's attorneys because he had been told to back off, that Epstein was above his pay grade. Wow. Above the prosecutors of the Department of Injustice pay grade. Wow, intelligence is above them spies, huh? I was told Epstein belongs to intelligence and leave it alone. He told his interviewers in a Trump transition, who evidently thought that was a sufficient answer and went ahead and hired Acosta, as labor secretary. Now, let's take a look at this thing, folks. This is something that Megyn Kelly...
Here's the biggest issue, Megyn, with the Epstein file. The question that has always hovered over the Jeffrey Epstein case was he got that sweetheart deal back in 2010 for trafficking minors for prostitution from Alex Acosta. He barely went to prison, got like a...
I have no idea who came up with that.
Here's the biggest issue, Megyn, with the Epstein file. The question that has always hovered over the Jeffrey Epstein case was he got that sweetheart deal back in 2010 for trafficking minors for prostitution from Alex Acosta. He barely went to prison, got like a sweetheart deal. And Alex Acosta said afterward, I was told he was intelligence and therefore to leave him alone. So the real...
So, folks, this has been talk of the internet for a while. This is not some secret, I'm telling you. It's been all over, people talking about it. Okay? So, but guess what? Intelligence. Well, America's intelligence organization is called the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. Did he belong to the CIA? Well, that's something that we need to find out. The only way we can find out about that is by seeing all the files, which are not releasing. What other intelligence of what other country would Epstein belong to? Maybe Russia? No, he's not Russian. China? No, he's not Chinese. How about India? No, he's not Indian. How about French? No. Germany? No. We do know he's well known. He was a pro-Israel Zionist Jew, and that Ehud Barak, the former Prime Minister of Israel, had visited him, Epstein, at his home in New York many times. So, okay, well, maybe he was a spy for Israel, the Israel's intelligence agency, Mossad. Well, that's a question a lot of people are talking about. Of course, everybody out there knows that the Jewish people have a lot of power in American politics. Look, I'm Jewish, born from Iran myself. Went to 9 years of Jewish school. And my father, back in the early 70s, told me, Payman, we the Jews are very powerful. We have, like New York Senator Howard Metzenbaum of New York and all that stuff. Okay, now I'm an anti-Zionist myself, personally. But my point is that, this is bigger than people think, potentially, because it could implicate Israeli government and the support of the very poor Zionists of billionaires that in support of Israel give money to U.S. politicians through AIPAC and other Zionist organizations to basically buy off politicians. Gee, what's new? Yeah, we have the best politicians that money can buy, right? So all this, people wondering, asking questions, suspicions, can and should be put to rest. So I suggest two things. Number one, call your congressman and demand that they find in inherent contempt Pam Bondi, the Department of Injustice's head. Okay? She can be put in prison inside the House of Representatives until she agrees to produce the files within a short time frame. Yes, Congress has that authority, and Congress has actually prison cells underneath the House of Representatives to put people who lied to Congress, okay, or disobeyed congressional law, put them in prison, in jail of the House until they actually comply with the law, with the will of the American people through Congress. So that's one thing they can do, but it's something that you can do right now. You know what that is? You can go to freedomlawschool.org to restore freedom. You can take 7 steps to regain your power and freedom, and for America. These crooks in the DOJ, FBI, guess who's paying for the salaries? Guess for over 100 years have been building this monster that the federal government has become out of control. Oh, yes, you guessed it. We, the American people, have been paying these guys to amass power to themselves and be out of control and do whatever they feel because they got the gun of the executive branch of the federal government to use against you out there and to protect themselves. So when you go to freedomlawschool.org, you will learn to never again voluntarily pay the Washington, D.C. swamp legally, safely, with a guarantee if you want to. Because people, we got to restore freedom and accountability in government in America, and you can do it. So these 7 steps, when you click on the 7 steps, right, you'll see that based on the government's official legal websites, no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income and payroll taxes. The only people that got file and pay federal income tax are citizens and residents of Washington, D.C., not the people of the 50 states. Okay? So when you click on the Start 7 Steps, you scroll down, you see Follow the Law. There's a video right here, and the brochures here on these gold bars that will show you what I just told you in easy to see and verify based upon U.S. government's official legal websites. Okay? This is not just some nonsense hogwash. It is the law, according to government's own official legal websites. Now I know when you hear that, guess what you all say? Oh no, but I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want IRS to take all my stuff. Well, guess what? That's a big lie you've been told. Like you were told that 9/11 was done by a bunch of Arab terrorists when Twin Towers came obviously down with controlled demolition. Building 7 never was hit by any plane at all and came down on its own, right? Obviously by controlled demolition. You've been lied to be made afraid of the IRS. You don't have to be afraid of them. You got to stop filing those 10 for income tax confession forms and stop putting rope around your neck and give it to the IRS to use against you. And that's some of the education you need to do on your own, and you'll have to stop filing and paying income tax forms, okay? Because that's how you give IRS the power to rape you, audit you, empty your bank account, steal your crypto, steal your property, and to put you in prison. You give them that power when you sign that 1040 form, okay? So you need to stop doing that. Okay, so I'm going to give you first a little quick overview of the law. So you see, this has been going on for a long time, folks. This did not start just a few years ago. So this is the amazing thing you're going to see. It's going to be hard to believe. This is a 1913, the very first modern day income tax law. Deceptively, they suckered your grandparents and their parents to become slaves and use their money to build their power, this empire they got to use against you. And we can stop that. I'll show you. You will love this. This is a 1913 law. You see in the top right? 1913. This is an actual copy of the law that says there shall be levied, assessed, collected, and paid annually upon the entire income, right, of every citizen of the United States, right, to every person residing in the United States, right? Everything of the United States, a tax of 1%, and a like tax, right, upon the entire net income from all property owned and every trade, business, profession carried on in the United States by persons residing elsewhere. That is still the law, by the way. The law still actually says that the rate has changed, and the rate of tax back then, folks, look at this, was only 1% on anybody who made, right, net income of over $20,000, which is over $2 million in today's money. Make over $2 million in today's money, pay only 1%. And you had to, in order to pay 6%, the highest rate of tax, you had to pay, your income had to exceed over $500,000, which was over $50 million in today's money. But look at the law. Everything's about United States. The key term is United States. Citizens of the United States. Someone resigning something, doing some business of profession in the United States. And guess what? This law, you go down from page 166 here. A few pages down, okay, look at that. The definition of state and United States is right here. The word state or United States, when you're in this section, shall be construed to include any territory, Alaska, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, the Philippine Islands, when such construction or understanding is necessary to carry out its provisions. And it is necessary for you to know that the law applies only to D.C. and these territories of D.C., not the people of the 50 states. It's been that way always. And the modified law over the decades, now in Section 7701, okay, of the Internal Revenue Code, the federal tax laws, which I'm holding right here in my hand. This is the book version of the federal tax laws, Internal Revenue Code, which is over 10,000 pages of gobbledygook, deliberately PhD level, written tiny font, tissue thin, to confuse the hell out of you. So you give up, and you hire that accountant, bookkeeper, CPA, tax attorney to keep you out of trouble because he understands the Internal Revenue Code, but he doesn't. He's only a glorified bookkeeper and helps you be a slave that you never were meant to be. And look at the definition of the United States in the law. He says hasn't changed as used in this title. Title 26, the Internal Revenue Code. They define many things. And look at this, United States. When used in a geographical sense, it includes only the states and the District of Columbia. And the word state, guess what? It only lists and includes only the District of Columbia, which is not even a state. Okay? But they can add whatever they want in there, but they exclude whatever they want. And yes, they did exclude on purpose what was not meant to be there. Here's a Supreme Court case of Stenberg versus Carhart, okay, in year 2000. And guess what? This case about definitions by lawmakers says this. When a statute or law includes an explicit definition, like what you just saw, we must follow that definition even if it varies from that term's ordinary meaning. Now, ordinarily, the United States and state include the 50 states. Yes, they do ordinarily, but not here. They've deliberately left it out. So, Supreme Court says it is axiomatic, which means self-evident, obvious, that the statutory or legal definition of the term excludes unstated meanings of that term. The 50 states are excluded on purpose from the law. It's not there. The United States people of 50 states are not meant to pay income tax. The people of District of Columbia, they have to pay income tax, and you're free. So what you can do is this, basically. Stop paying the crooks and criminals in Washington, D.C., in the DOJ, in the CIA, in the FBI. Yes, they've deceived us, the American people, our grandparents and their parents, to pay slavery income tax that none of us have to pay. So now that the American people are waking up and recognizing, oh, whoa, we lost the control of our government. Congress has released the Epstein files, and the DOJ just gives the middle finger, some excuses to Congress of the United States, and you, the American people. Will you stand for that? You shouldn't, and you don't have to. I have not filed and paid any federal income taxes for over 30 years. I'm not in prison. How come? Because there's no law that requires me and you, the people of the 50 United States, to file and pay federal income taxes. They've not even indicted me for not filing and paying federal income taxes because they can't. They know I'll win and send them with you. I'll give you confidence. You don't have to worry about these crooks and criminals anymore. Once you recognize that they lied to you. Again, the major media is the Wizard of Oz for the IRS, saying, I'm the great and powerful IRS. File your taxes or else. See, because we've been programmed all of our lives with fear, with accountants and preachers and television tell us to pay your taxes. Panic, shock, relaxation, adoration, okay? To be a slave. We're going to deprogram ourselves, okay? Take back our country. And that's where the deception is so important for you to get. You got to watch these videos right here on step 3, that you are much more powerful, much more than them, if you just recognize that truth for yourself. They are not a Godzilla. IRS is a lizard without firepower. I've beat them in court myself many times, and so have my students at Freedom Law School for over 24 years. Yes. You could take courage for the fact that no student of Freedom Law School has ever gone to prison for taxes, for not paying federal income taxes. Nor had their paycheck or bank account levied or home or business seized by the IRS. As long as they came to me clean, like you, and stayed with Freedom Law School. That's the real truth that was hidden from you. So why be afraid? You don't need to. You just got to educate yourself. Let me give you a little bit more information and confidence, my friend, to be free. You don't have to pay tribute to the It's Really Slavery IRS. What you want to do is question authority. Write your Congress members. Okay? Tell them, hey, here's a law. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll pay my fair share of taxes if you can show me I am wrong about all these laws, which is on our petitions for free. Okay, and here it is. I'm going to show you these are all there on our website for free for you to download. Send your congressman. Here's a sample one. Okay, and on these petitions, we quote the law verbatim, exactly, and attach them and highlight them. Okay, for Congress members' ease to read and follow why the average American in the 50 United States is not required to file and pay federal income taxes. And at the end of these petitions, we'll let them know, look, I believe every person should pay their fair share of income taxes according to the law. Okay? Yeah. But then I tell you that I'm determining my determination that I do not have any income tax liability. Okay? We just straight out just tell the congressman that. If I'm wrong on that, tell me. Okay? I'm not liable to pay federal income tax. And so we tell the congressman, if I'm wrong about all this, look at all the laws. Revenue Code, regulations of U.S. Treasury, Supreme Court cases. If I'm wrong about any of this, look, you just let me know. Clearly show me that I do owe federal income taxes. I will gladly pay all taxes due and will consider it to be my fair share of taxes. Yeah. But when your independent research shows I'm right, I want you to stop these crooks in the DOJ, in the IRS, and have the power to stop these guys. Okay? So, you know how many times congressmen have visited us and showed us wrong? We've done this thousands of times. It's free on our website. These petitions at freedomlawschool.org for you to download, send a congressman by certified mail. Not once, not one congressman has ever shown us wrong at all, because we're right on the money and they're lying. So, you have an option if you want. Get together with other patriotic Americans like yourself, like America's founding fathers did, and you can join in the Restore Freedom Plan. Not revolution. We don't need a revolution. We just got to get back where we came from. Get back to the Constitution, to our rights and God-given rights that we have. That's all you got to do. Restore freedom. Okay? And you can have 100% guarantee that IRS will not take your money if you stop filing income tax. Stay with the plan, and you will not go to prison either. and invite you at the same time to love everybody else. Share this information about Freedom Law School. Stop supporting FBI, CIA, DOJ, crooks in government. Love and spread the truth. Tell them about freedomlawschool.org, and we can have America be free. You keep your money. And when these guys don't have money, they cannot buy people. When they'll be able to buy people, they will be out of business. In mass, we need to do this thing. In mass. But it still starts with me and you. You go to our website, okay? And on the right, go here, free yourself from withholding. Open that page. As an employee, stop income tax withholding from your paycheck. Yes, you can do that for free, okay? If you're a business owner and independent contractor, stop sending the money to the thieves. If you're an employer, stop taking income tax, payroll taxes from your employee. Don't pay corporate taxes either. Gun manufacturing taxes, estate taxes, or even wagering taxes. None of that belongs to people of the 50 states to pay. All that is on our website, freedomlawschool.org. People, I'm an immigrant from Iran. English is my second language. And I got all this by reading the law in English. You can do better than me, much quicker than me. Nobody had all this stuff written for me so easily together like I've made it for you. For you, it's extremely easy to go to freedomlawschool.org and be free. Just educate yourself. All you gotta do is, as you drive around to and from work or shopping or errands, put our videos up. Listen to them as you watch the road safely. And at lunch or dinner, play the video again on your smartphone and verify, oh yeah, this is the law. Paymon's not lying. Here's Paymon, president of Freedom Law School. He's right. You haven't filed income tax for over 30 years. He's been under criminal investigation for over 30 years, and including right now, IRS got me under criminal investigation. Go ahead. Go ahead, investigate all you want. I've not broken no law because no law requires me or you, the people of the 50 United States, to file and pay federal income taxes, support these liars and crooks in DOJ, FBI, CIA. So for that, I give you my love and invite you to educate yourself to freedom. Post our videos, our website, on your social media. Text it to your friends. Email it to your friends, family members, okay? Call us or go to our website. These brochures, we will mail them to you free of charge. Restore freedom or fast track your success. 12 pages. And there we show anybody that no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay federal income or payroll taxes. $50,000 for anybody that can show us wrong. So, it's up to you to be free. No more complaining about inflation. Cost of housing has gone up. Cost of food, everything's gone up. I don't want to hear no complaints from any of you. You could keep your money that belongs to you by not paying it to the crooks, the DOJ, FBI, and the federal government. You can stop the withholding. Stop giving these guys. Give yourself a pay raise because it was your money to begin with. And share the love and truth and information with anybody you care about. Thank you for listening to me. I'm going to go now to answer your questions you may have. Okay. Now we're going to get to your questions. Okay, anybody has any questions? I'm here to help you live free now. Okay. We have one caller right now from area code 903 waiting to get his or her question answered. But if more of you have a question, the number to call is on the screen, 424-552-1299. And on your telephone keypad, you press 1. And that will connect you, and I'll take your question next. Again, the number to call is 424-552-1299. 1299, and then you press 1 on a telephone keypad. You'll be next after 903 area code caller. So, call from area code 903. Please tell me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hello, Payman. My name is Leo, and I heard about you from Mike Adams probably about a year ago.
Okay. And how may I help you?
And, well, first I can attest that you're 100% correct on what you're saying, because I'm on my, funny enough, before I even came across you, I had stopped filing. I'm on close to my 4th year of not filing, and I've got no letters, no phone calls, so no issues there. So I can say unequivocally 100% you're correct. Mm-hmm. And there's no fear there. I do, to my question now, I do have 2 years that I owe for, but I have not received any correspondence in probably 6 months. And I told myself, well, if I get a reminder, I will, handle that when it comes. But it's literally been 6 months, and so it's still in the back of my mind, and obviously it's something that I signed for. So what do you recommend given my circumstances?
Your circumstances seem perfectly fine. You said they left you alone. Keep living free life. What is the problem you're talking about?
So let's say I get more mail. Next month I get these reminders. Just ignore it, or is there any protocol I need to go through?
Well, I do talk about this in my other videos about. Let me get that on the screen for you. The fact of the matter is, IRS sends out a lot of letters to scare you. Request for tax returns. Hey, you haven't filed the tax return. Hey, reminder, you got to file your tax return. Those letters are a bunch of bunk scare letters sent out by the IRS to hundreds of thousands of people, possibly, just to scare you. Because you see a letter for the IRS's emblem and the vulture they got on there, you think, oh my gosh, somebody found me. Charlie of the IRS or Joanna of the IRS found me and is waiting for me to respond with my letter. But there's no need for you to worry, okay? There's a progression of letters IRS sends out. I got the video on our website, okay? Watch this video and explains which IRS letters do matter, which ones do not matter, okay? And if you click on, you see on here the actual letters, what they look like. We have it all there. So most of the letters the IRS sends out, 99% of them are just meant to be scare letters to get you on your own. Sign a 1040 form under oath, swear you owe the IRS money, put rope around your neck, and give it to the IRS. So, but that's on our website also. On social media, we have on Odyssey, and I think we have it on Rumble and YouTube also. We have the Level 1 course on Odyssey only, and freedomlawschool.tv we have it. I did a course back over 20 years ago that goes through all these in more detail. Listen to those as you drive around and educate yourself, and you'll know answers and completely not to worry about anything. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Okay. All right. If you have no more questions, I know it's Christmas time, and people are focused on holiday shopping and preparations for getting together with the family, then I'll end the Freedom Hour. But let's go one more time to see if anybody online may have a question. But the number to call if you have a question right now is 424-552-1299, and then you press 1 on your telephone keypad, and I will take your question now. Again, the number is 424-552-1299, and you press 1 on your telephone keypad, and I can take your question now. So, should we go to a question online? Okay, there's a question. When you came from Iran, how did you come to care about this matter? All right, good question. Well, in college, I took economics classes, and I learned that in a free enterprise system, people are free. In America, we don't have a free enterprise system anymore. We got a semi-socialist, semi-free enterprise system. And I realized people like me are called libertarians, believe in liberty. I read the book Free to Choose by Milton Friedman about free enterprise. So I'm a freedom lover. Duh, who wants to be a slave? I want to be free, just like you do. So that's how I became a libertarian. Then when I became a citizen in 1989, one of the first things I did as an American is register to vote as a Libertarian Party a member and as a Libertarian Party activist, both. I joined the party. And I was doing that for several years. In 1992, as I was going to my job in the morning, saw a medical x-ray film, and I heard somebody talk about on KFI, talk radio in Los Angeles, on the Bill Handel on the Law Show, that this lady claims that the average American is not required to file and pay income taxes. I thought that's interesting. I used to be a financial planner, set people up with IRAs and things like that. So I thought, let me check into this thing. This is kind of interesting. I'm a curious cat. I was interested to learn. And I'm from Iran. I don't know about America as much as I should. So let me go educate myself. I got the number of the lady on the show, announced her phone number to contact her for more information. Called her. Went to the seminar she had later that week. It cost me $40. Refundable only if I was not satisfied with her proof. And I said, okay, with that guarantee, I'll risk $40 of back then, which was over $200 in today's money, to be shown proof that the average American is not required to file and pay federal income taxes. I went there, saw the presentation. It wasn't as good as this, nowhere, but it was enough for me to see, wow, they've been deceiving us. You give up your right to be silent, guaranteed by Fifth Amendment, to use everything on the 1040 form against you. That's the dumbest thing you can do. Fill out a 1040 form, give it to your enemies to use against you, put you in prison. Take your money. So that's when I became an activist. I said, that's how we're going to fund our liberation of America. Them Republicans, your Union Party, they all are whores of big money, special interests of all sorts. Solution? We keep our money. Now we have also not only more for ourselves, but have some money available to give to good, honest statesmen to represent the American people in government, to take our freedoms back. That's our gratitude, my friend. It's a good question. By the way, all that information is available on our website. If you go there to Freedom Law School's website, there's a page. I'll show you guys. If you go to the home page, at the very bottom of it, I think we have information about Freedom Law School. Okay, about this About page. There's an About page right here. Go to here on our front page. You scroll down, and you're going to see more information about Freedom Law School, myself, and our newspaper articles that have been written about Freedom Law School, and even some videos. I did 2 videos about my background and involvement in the freedom movement. There's a part 1 and then part 2. Okay? So how that gives you better information that you're looking for. Any other questions? Another question by the same gentleman or lady says, I heard about IRS officers Joe Bannister and Sheriff Peter Jackson. Can I do this too? Well, of course you can. I mean, I just showed it to you. Just go to our website, freedomlawschool.org. As you drive around, the 7-step videos, click on the gold bar on the front page. And as you do that, you click on 7 steps. listen to these videos as you drive around, and at lunch and dinner, look at them, and you're gonna know the truth, and the truth shall set you free, my friends. Okay, we have another question from 10 Sleep 59. How does a non-filing history impact probate? I was recently executed from my parents' estate and was directed by the CPA to file the previous year's tax return for the final year. CPA is doing his job of making you a slave of the federal government. That's all he knows how to do. He's wrong. Don't just sign those forms at all. Say, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay? Just distribute the assets amongst the heirs. Okay? Now, if you need help with that, if you become a Restore Freedom Plan member, we're going to guide and assist you with that situation with your CPA as well, who pretends to know the law, but he doesn't. So, take to him our brochures. Okay? Yeah, here's the Follow the Law video, brochure on our website. Show me where I or my parents are required to file income tax, and we'll sign and follow tax returns for my parents. He can't do that, and I won't. Maybe he's a good, honest guy. Maybe he'll turn around and say, you're right. I'm not going to be enslaving American people anymore. Give him a chance. Your CPA may be a good guy. So you don't assume that he's not going to buy this stuff. Because people oftentimes will just, change their mind if they see the truth. All right? We have no more questions on the call, I don't see. But I see questions online, I think, right? Okay, let's see, online question. Okay, we have our main hope for asking again, do I have to restate my citizenship away from the District of Columbia and to my state? Were you ever a citizen or resident of Washington, D.C.? All you gotta do is leave D.C. That's all you gotta do. You come to Florida, you go to New Hampshire, you go to Nevada. Now you're from Nevada, Florida, or New Hampshire. That's all you gotta do. You don't need to declare or state your citizenship at all. Okay? We have two callers, one from area code 405 and another one from area code 559. So 405 area code caller, please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please. Are you there? He left us, okay?
Yes.
Oh, there you are. 405 area code caller, are you there?
Yes.
What is your name and how did you hear about us?
No, I'm right here. Yes. My name is Tracy.
And how did you hear about Freedom Law School?
I heard of you through YouTube. My husband, we've been watching y'all for over 3 years.
How did you hear about us initially with your husband?
Through my husband.
Okay. Turn your computer down so you don't hear the echo of me speaking twice. Okay, turn that down. Just listen to me on the telephone system you got only, so that's going to minimize the confusion. Okay? So I'm curious, how was it that your husband found about Freedom Law School?
Okay.
Turn that computer down that you watch in our program completely down. Okay, so don't listen to that at all. Okay, because it creates echo and confuses you. Just talk to me directly right here with that completely down. So how was it that you and your husband, Tracy, heard about Freedom Law School initially?
Got it.
What's the answer?
My husband sat there and found y'all on YouTube, and we've been watching you for over 3 years.
Okay, very good, on YouTube.
We haven't paid our taxes, but I wanted to know, we state tax for your house that's been paid for. Do you have to pay for that?
State income tax?
Yes.
All right. What state do you live in?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma follows federal tax law definition, okay, and or forms. So if you're not required to file and pay federal income tax, you're not required to file and pay Oklahoma state income tax either.
Okay. That's what I need to know. Thank
Very
you.
good. Very good. Glad to be of service to you. Let's go
Very
to
good.
area code 559. Area code caller, my friend, give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hey, Paymon. My name is Tony. I've called in before, and I've heard of Freedom Law School through YouTube. You came out on an interview. I can't recall the YouTube channel name, but that's how I heard of you.
Very good. How may I help you?
So I'd like to quickly mention that last week I called, and I told you that I submitted the 2025 exempt form package that you guys had on your website, and the company that I just began working for was a bit shocked at it, and they didn't. And come today, I'm supposed to receive my check, and they didn't apply that exempt form onto my check, so they're withholding federal and state taxes. So they gave me the 2026 form, and they want me to fill it out, which I have not yet. And I go back to your website, and I seen that you guys updated your package, and I've been following and reading on how to petition the Congress, but I'm almost, it's kind of a lengthy process, because on your website it's saying to mail one out each week. Like, I think if I'm reading it correctly, mail one out each week to the congressman, and I'm almost tempted to like just submit the exempt form so that I could stop them from withholding my federal income taxes, because I need that money now, and it's almost like I can't wait to do that step. You know, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Do them. Look, you get the individual income tax petition out. You called a week ago, I remember. You should send out the first petition already. Send the individual income tax one right away. Then you could put the other ones a few days later, and you could do a W-4 exempt, no problem, on 2026. Go ahead and do that, no problem. But get them all done. Within 2 weeks, you should be 3 weeks. You should be done with all of them.
Understood. So would you decline? Would you say that me signing that W-4, the exempt form right now, would be a bad idea?
No, it's
You're
fine.
saying that I should
do tomorrow.
Okay,
send out the petitions to your congressman tomorrow on individual income tax, and give the new W-4 form to the employer at the same time. That's fine.
Okay, with the addendum document that's now on your website?
The petitions and the attachments are all on our website, freedomlawschool.org.
Okay, understood. Yeah, I just want to, because I was caught off guard, you know, by reading the new update. It was saying that if we submit the documents that you have on your website, we're without petitioning Congress, then we'd be falsely stating what we believe, that we should not be taxed on our federal income, right? I just don't want to get it. Bottom line, I don't know. I guess I'm just coming from like a fear mindset, and I'm limited on time and all that. So I just want to make sure that I'm on the right track here.
You're on the right track. I just told you.
Okay, understood, Paymon. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, man. And you have a Merry Christmas, and God bless you and your company.
Thank you. God bless you, my friend, and Merry Christmas to you as well, Tony. We have one more caller right now from area code 386, getting ready to ask his or question. After him, the call question line is open. The number to call if you have a question is 424-552-1299, and then press 1 on your telephone keypad. So 386 area code caller, please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hi, yes. My name is Melissa Paymon.
And how did you hear about Freedom Law School,
and
Melissa?
I actually heard from you off of Redacted off YouTube.
Very good. And how may I help you?
So I have been following you guys probably for the past year and a half, and I filled out my 2025 exempt form at the beginning of the year, and then I mailed out my July 2025. I mailed my petitions to everyone, including my employer, and I just received an IRS bill or IRS. An email today or a letter in the mail basically stating that they sent a letter to my employer it's a lock-in letter that I have to pay. I have to pay. I can't be exempt anymore. So I'm not sure where to go from here. I'm a little bit nervous, obviously, because I followed all of your steps and I've gotten many IRS letters. However, when I just got this lock-in letter, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
The problem is half the IRS, the other half is your employer. The IRS has no authority to do this.
Sorry, can you...
They're doing it illegally.
Okay.
But the other half is your employer being afraid of the IRS. The accountant CPA tells them, do what the IRS says, otherwise you may be in trouble. So just sell down the employee to steal his money or her money. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Your employer,
Sure.
how many employees does it have? How long have you been with them?
Oh, I've been with them for 7 years, and I intend to stay with them for quite some time.
How many employees do they have?
I would like to retire from here. Oh, over 5,000.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid, here's the thing. IRS is getting desperate to keep American people enslaved. So they do this illegal method of telling employers we steal you from your money from a large amount to force you to file a temporary tax form or just forget about all your money they took from you. And there's really no easy way out of it until we file and win a lawsuit against them, which we're working on right now. The only solution is change your job, retire, start your business, stay home, do something different. Because employers, unfortunately, are afraid. You can talk to them, but more likely you're going to get some clerk, secretary says, sorry, take it with the IRS. We're going to do what the IRS says until, we don't want to be in trouble with the IRS. So IRS is using that fear of the employers to steal your money.
Mm-hmm.
There's no easy way out, I'm sorry, especially if you want to stay with them until retirement, you got a tough choice to make. Because they're going to probably start in a month or two. Your employer, if they got the letter, start taking money from your paycheck. Now, sometimes I heard people that on the company's website, you can, the W-4 exempt thing, they put single zero for you as an allowance. And sometimes you can switch it to exempt on your own, and it works, I've heard, once in a while. But I don't know how that works for your company.
Well, I actually did. I filed an exempt on my own, and then I filed an exempt through the letter that I got off of your website as well.
Right.
So I did both ways.
Right. But the accountants of the company will probably switch that sometime soon. They may not. We'll see. But at this point, that's how things stand.
Okay. Understood.
Okay. Any other questions?
And should I file? Should I file my taxes or just? Because obviously I don't want to leave this company. So should I file my taxes or?
I can't tell you what to do.
Just let them take
All
out
I can
the
tell
money?
you is that they are doing this thing to force you to get some of their money back. File a tax return, even though there's no law requiring you to, by intimidating the employer.
Yeah.
That's what the IRS is doing. That's exactly what they're doing, to force you to file, to be a slave. Say, look, you took out of my paycheck $20,000, and if I were to file, I could get $5,000 of it back. Gee, I don't want to file, but if I don't, I lose the whole, even the $5,000. So, gee, that's only you got to make that call. They say, nope, I'm not going to file. I don't care. I'm going to stay with my principles. Or you might say, I really need the money very badly, and I need to file to get that $5,000 refund back. There's a number on the form. You can call the IRS. They may change that. They usually don't. The arbitrary flunkies that got out there, that's how they do that. But there really is no easy way out. This is complete arbitrary, criminal government running amok. Just like FBI, just like DOJ, you just heard me talk about. IRS has been doing this a lot longer than that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas as well, Melissa. Sorry, I wish I had a better answer. But I don't.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. All right, let's put the number on the screen. Guys, last call for questions, 424-552-1299, and press 1. I'll take your question now. 424-552-1299, and press 1 to get the question answered. No question online, guys, to answer? We're good there? Okay. Let's see if there's a question there. All right, let's see who we got to do with that online with a question. Johnny Ferguson, 9052. Hey, I stopped filing 6 years back. I have went exam recently. What do you recommend? I do. I wanted to become a freedom law school, but it's a bit pricey as the fee is annual, correct? You can do everything on your own, Johnny, if you want to, brother. Okay, you don't have to join the Restore Freedom Plan. Okay? And the IRS will leave you 99% of the time alone plus. But if you are 100% protected, and we pay the attorneys, paralegals, any help, any letters done by us. And if you will not go to prison, because we pay the professionals, and I'll be there to keep you out. You'll not go to prison with those petitions done. Those petitions protect you from going to jail, okay, as well as do the right thing to put pressure on the congressman to follow the law and impose the law on the IRS. In addition to all that, let's see what I was going to say. The membership, IRS will not take any of your stuff. If they do, we'll reimburse you 100%. But there's an investment on that. It's 30% of what you would have otherwise paid the IRS. The minimum membership is $2,000. So it's not that high. But apparently you don't make that much money. And you need everything because of inflation has been hurting people. I understand, so keep your money. You don't have to join right now. Okay? If you want to be part of the cause, part of the movement to take back our country, if you want to be able to tell your children and grandchildren, hey, back then I was part of doing something about all those crooks and take our country back. Like the people in Russia did back in 1991 when they arose and deposed the communist government and restored freedom there. If you want to be part of that and be protected, then you can join the Restore Freedom Plan. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Do what you can. Save money for yourself and your family. Okay? Is there another question by him on there? Or second question by Johnny? Because it's me and my wife are starting a business next spring in a food trailer. Well, good. Glad you are starting your own business. That's the best way to go, Johnny. Go for it, okay? But listen, I'm too busy to write letters back to people. I appreciate your love. Want to write to me, but I don't expect a response back because I'm just so busy, I'm afraid. I got so much I got to do that only I can do, unfortunately. I'm trying to train others to do the same thing, but it takes time to train people. So do what you got to do to get your business going. I'm glad you're doing that. Good for you. And let's take back freedom for your family first and in America. Are we done, guys? All right, gentlemen and ladies, I appreciate you being with me. Merry Christmas. Well, there's another caller. I don't see one from where. It doesn't show up the system and new caller. Technology, guys. It doesn't work perfectly as it is supposed to. Let's see who we got as another caller. Okay. We do have someone calling from area code 978. All right. 978 area code caller. Please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hey, Payman, my name's George, and I heard about you through Redacted. I watched your episode with Clayton Morris about a year ago, I want to say it was.
Very well. And how may I help you?
So, actually, I was just wondering if you had comment regarding Palantir and, I guess, DOJ's sweep through the IRS. And I did see your video regarding, the person that was on the DOJ team speaking about the inefficiencies within the IRS. And I do totally believe it, but at the same time, what comments do you have, or can you redirect me maybe to one of your past videos regarding what you believe the future holds regarding AI being integrated into the IRS and their ability to? I know you say the automated letters aren't so much of an issue, but I'm just curious what your thoughts are on them further automating their process.
Well, if you go to our Step 3 videos on our website, okay, I cover these things in more detail. So your Step 3, realize the IRS operates on deception and bluff. There's a video on the front page of that step, and then inside you go, there's more there. But the bottom line is that the IRS has over 100 different computers or computer systems across America which are not connected to each other. Imagine that. This computer shows something, another one shows something else, as you heard this DOJ computer programmer says. So the system is so antiquated that they cannot modernize it because it would risk system-wide failure the day they decide to switch and flip from that antiquated system of 100 plus computers to one integrated one across everywhere in America. They will not be able to do that, in my opinion, because it's just one of those things, just like Mikhail Gorbachev, who tried to fix communism in 1985. He worked on that 6 years. He tried to fix communism in his former Soviet Union since 1917. He was going there. By 1991, he just resigned. And the Soviet Union collapsed, became in separate parts. Russia, Ukraine, and other countries that were part of the Soviet Union. So I don't think they can do that. And these employees that they got, the computer programmers, are temporary, not long-term. And it just takes the whole IT people at the IRS. It's just such a broken system. You can't fire them. And you cannot hire new people to replace these guys to get the job done, because otherwise, well, these other guys do. You just can't do that. So, no, I don't think the IRS will be able to fix itself. Okay? Well, you got the video, you should play that.
Yep.
But to give you a perspective on that, I'm going to show you what this video about in Soviet Union, how the whole thing collapsed. Ready to play it on? I got to do that. Here we go. I'm going to play this right now, this little clip, which was on Associated Press, was played years ago on mainstream TV about Soviet Union's collapse, which applies to America.
A larger-than-life Boris Yeltsin defying communist hardliners from the top of a tank. The iconic image proved crucial in undermining their coup attempt 20 years ago.
Весь мир транслировал эти кадры.
The whole world was broadcasting that footage.
Оказалось, что
and as it turned out,
это был один из ключевых факторов.
It was one of the key factors of the defeat of the coup plotters and of our victory.
Members of a group called the Live Circle had defended the White House, the seat of the newly elected Russian president's government, from the communists back in 1991.
For me personally, it was the first time in my country that I had the possibility to choose my government. And then these miserable people tried to take it away. So I went to defend, first of all, that right that I got, more than anything else.
The communists had tried to use the military to block a treaty granting Russia and other Soviet republics their sovereignty, a move springing from reforms brought in by the man they put under house arrest who'd been leading the Soviet Union at the time, Mikhail Gorbachev. But there was no civil war, the coup collapsed, the Soviet Union broke apart, and the mood in Moscow was one of exhilaration as Yeltsin threw out
here. It's up to us to wake ourselves up, educate ourselves. This government is no longer by and of and for we the people. So we need to take it back. And we can do it by not giving them our money. And no longer being a slave, no longer fill out those slave return for income tax confession forms. All right? So George, hope that helps you with your question, my friend. I don't think we have any more callers on there. So with that, I'll give you all my love, and I appreciate you this Christmas being with me. Enjoy your Christmas with your family and New Year. 2026 is going to be a challenging year because the recession is going to get worse. Yes, unemployment will go up. Gold and silver prices will go up. Okay? Bitcoin, it's maybe got some ups and downs, more volatility, but long term it'll go up anyhow. Crypto, so save gold, silver, and Bitcoin, in my opinion. Okay, be prepared. Real estate's going to crash. When exactly? Don't know. 6 months from now, a year or two, it is coming. So get out of your real estate now. Get your equity out of your real estate now. Buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Okay, wait for the crash. Then you can buy real estate cheap, just like it happened in 2008 to 2012, the previous Great Depression that we had. You, the patriots, who educate yourself, who learned, are going to be far ahead. They're the neighbors, friends, co-workers, family members who don't listen and call you conspiracy theorist and whatever else label they throw at you. They don't want to listen to you. That is their problem, being ignorant. You be educated, you be free and prosperous. So with that, I give you my love. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you. I'll be back with you one last time before the new year.